I'm telling you, bud, you can't trust that man. But you can trust me when I tell you. He's the kind of guy that'll smile at you, shake your hand, and then pat you on the back with a knife. You can't trust him. Well, you can't judge. You know, you know what they say. You can't judge a book by its cover. There, Walshy. Judge a book by its cover. That's an old saying. Beware a wolf in sheep clothing too, isn't it? Also an old saying. Aye, it is. But here's one I'm sure you haven't ever heard of. It's called Beware the Doberman in the Backyard. Do you know who wrote that? I did. And I'll tell you why. I was a wee boy, 4 or 5. And it was a summertime, beautiful summer day in the 90s. And I tell you, other than Christmas, there was no better place to be than at my grandparents' backyard. I remember my dad picked me up that day. We went back there. Him and my grandfather were working on a project for me. My very first ever bicycle. 5 years old, they felt I was old enough to ride my own bike. And my granddad, he had a friend come down. His name was Jim. And he had this handsome dog with him that I'd never seen before. This great big black and brown Doberman. You know the kind, the duck tail, the ears cropped, the whole 9 yard. He looked like a proper police dog. But he had a smile on him. He had a smile on his face the whole time when he saw me. And he saw everybody else. He had this beautiful smile. Happy-go-lucky dog. I was with my grandmother this one day. We were on the back deck. Jim, my granddad, and my father. They went into the shed, into my granddad's workshop to work on the project for me, to put the bike together. And the funny thing was, in the middle of this great big backyard, the Doberman just sat there. He just sat there, mouth open, happy-eyed, the whole 9 yard. Like he was in the middle of the yard, not moving. It's like he was waiting for something. It's like he was lying in wait for his prey or something. I don't know. I couldn't pay no attention to it. I was only a wee boy. He was in the middle of the grass, the green grass, like a bullseye in the middle of a dartboard. Then finally, my grandmother just said to me, she said, "Wait here, love. I'll be back in a wee bit." So she goes into the workshop. And the funny thing was, like a gargoyle that just came out of the stone, this Doberman turned his head and he followed my grandmother with his eyes, he followed my grandmother into the shed. And then something amazing happened. He looked at me. Ears went down. The mouth closed, his nose wrinkled up, and I could start seeing growling, and his eyes looked black and red, like the devil himself, like some kind of sickness was in him, like some kind of vile anger and torment that was going through his entire body, just playing to be wait out. I had a feeling that I was going to be in trouble. But because I was young, I didn't do the smart thing. I turned around and go into the house for safety. I ran. I made a great mistake and I ran. Past the dog. And I almost made it to the shed when I saw behind me, all I could see was his muzzle and his teeth. And then out of nowhere I felt something on the back of my leg. Like somebody had stuck 4 red hot nails into the back of my leg. I went down to the ground and I hold on to my leg and I was screaming bloody murder. That's when I knew I'd been bit. My dad ran out and, along with my grandparents and Jim, saw me laying on the ground holding my leg. My dad knew exactly what he'd done. And I saw his face turn red. Not red rosy cheeks, Santa Claus, mind you. He went redder than the blood of the saints. And he ran down for the basement. And I knew what he was going to be doing. I was holding my leg and I was in great pain, but I knew what he was going to be doing. My grandmother got down on the ground with me and tried to comfort me. Jim and my grandfather looked at each other and they knew what my dad was going to do. My dad was running to the basement to get the shotgun and he was going to blow that damn dog's brains out. But then Jim and grandfather were yelling at him, think of the boy, think of Travis, don't go doing this, don't be a damn fool. Rob, don't be a damn fool, lad. So my dad managed to collect his temper, put back the gun, and he got me to the hospital. I learned a valuable lesson from that dog. Everything's not as it seems. You gotta remember that. Yeah, don't judge a book by its cover. But at least open the cover enough to read the headline of the damn book before you make a decision. And I'm telling you, don't trust them. Because you might get bit by the Doberman in the backyard.